All right, folks, we are here again, and Mo Salah's had the ball in possession down the right-hand side, able to cross it in, and actually play is going to stop because the Brentford defender is down for the count. Looks like he got hit in the head, so there will be a stoppage for injury time. Sorry for all the stop and start again today. I made a mistake of setting the video made for kids. I thought it was safe for kids to watch because I try to avoid swear words, but turns out that was not the right way to go because YouTube disables live chat for made for kids videos. So apologies, but I think we are now in business. It is showing me at least available to comment. Oh, all right, we're rocking and rolling. Tweak the live stream out. All right. And Liverpool with a chance here, as I was just tweeting out that message, as the camera panned to Salah. Jota picked the ball up and threaded a beautiful ball in through to Salah, who's one-on-one. Oh my goodness, and that was about to be a goal. Beautiful sliding clearance. Not literally on the line, but just about right before it was number 20, who I believe that is the FM legend Christopher Ayer, the Danish player, formerly of Celtic. That was a beautiful clearance. Certainly a goal-saving clearance. So credit to the young Dane. And yeah, I'm really liking this. I know the Liverpool kick got some comedic criticism on Twitter upon its release. It does certainly look like it's out of Ronald McDonald's closet, but it's looking nice and sharp. It's a pretty electric yellow. Looks even brighter on TV than you might expect. Oh, and there's a chance for Ivan Toney, who scored 33 goals in the championship last season, already 2 in the Premier League, I believe. And that was a cross from the left-hand side by Brentford. He goes and leaps for it and is able to find a yard of space despite Virgil van Dijk marking him, I guess not tight enough. And the glancing header just flashes a bit past the post. And Liverpool able to avoid an early headache. Speaking of which, though, Andy Robbo goes for a swing and a miss of a clearance, and Brentford able to surge forward again and fashion themselves a bit of a chance. Not too much, but it is cleared, I believe, for a Brentford corner. Oh no, it looks like number 15 on Brentford was able to get the shot away clean, but a sliding volley over the bar. And and Liverpool able to avoid it again, avoid the danger again. Liverpool again on a counter forward, but the goalkeeper comes out to clear, and here's Brentford with a chance, and they scoop it up and over Alisson. A goal line clearance of our own for Liverpool as Matip is able to scamper back, of course looking a bit like Bambi on ice as always. Almost seemed like he did have, a comfortable enough amount of time to clear it off the line, but he had almost a stutter step where it seemed like he might, he almost forgot to clear it or was off balance. And here's Robbo. This is quite a frantic start for both teams, really. Very entertaining first 10 minutes, first 11 minutes to this match. Back and forth, end to end. That's what we like to see in the Premier League. And it is very often that it is Liverpool that are serving up playing styles like this. And so they're showing the clearance once again. And it is Matip who had to scamper back. He lets the ball go by him, reorients his body, and clears the ball just about off the line in the same position as Christopher Ayer did for Liverpool's chance. So this game could be 1-1, but it remains scoreless for now. Sadio Mane has the ball on the left-hand side, carries it more centrally, swings it out to Trent to Hendo. Brentford, the way Brentford are setting themselves up, they are retreating rather quickly towards their own box and playing pretty, not too spread out vertically. So they're dropping back. I wouldn't say again that they're parking the bus. That's not the formation that they're taking up. I believe, who was it? Was it Burnley? There was one match earlier this season where I was saying similar things. It wasn't quite parking the bus, but it was quite a good defensive shape, but a rather conservative defensive shape. I say this because Liverpool are able to get numbers forward, and it's been a couple times so far where a wide player has gotten the ball, has been able to cut the ball inside and swing it across the pitch and just kind of roll the ball right into stride for the intended recipient, who's able to carry the ball forward with quite a bit of room. So that'll be interesting to see if that's something Liverpool want to take advantage of. Get the ball at the feet of some skillful players that, like Hendo, like Trent. Here's Curtis kind of just bombing the ball over towards Salah. That was more of a Hail Mary pass as opposed to a well thought out or a driven cross-field ball. But Liverpool definitely having a lot of the possession here. I would guess that we've got probably more than 65% possession, and definitely looking up for it, as we have pretty much all season. Okay. And And the ball out to Mo Salah on the right-hand side. He plays it centrally to Curtis, who tries to explore some space but runs into a sea of candy cane defenders. And then he has to drop it to Trent, I think, and then it's with Hendo back to Curtis. Curtis to Trent, back to Curtis. And, oh, what happened with my autofocus here? I guess my walking around wasn't so helpful. Oh, let me fix that. It's not going to fix itself, it doesn't seem. There we go. Ooh, Salah with an outside the foot ball towards the center, and he was looking for Mane. But David Raya, the Spanish goalkeeper, is able to confidently come for that and collect. Underrated side of Mo Salah's game is assist making. A lot of people consider him to be quite a selfish player, but he definitely fashions a lot of chances both for himself and for his teammates. We've got some Reds supporters with us today. Trent on the ball now, right side of the field. He plays a 1-2 with Fabinho, then pings the ball centrally to Jota, who gets it over to Sadio. A toe poke away by Brentford defenders, and this is going to be a foul on Henderson. No, it's not. He kind of clattered into a Brentford player. Did win the ball fair and square, but he bundled the player over, kind of just ran right through him, so I was expecting to see a foul call, but credit to the referee, nothing given. Good to see the Liverpool captain back to full fitness. I think he missed the first 2 games of the season, and by that I mean didn't get the start. I think he was named to the bench, but you certainly knew that he had to come back to the starting lineup, and he as well, and that's typically how it goes. Is when Hendo is in full tilt, so is the rest of the team. He really is. Sounds kind of cliche to say that he's the heartbeat of the team, but he really is more than. Here's Brentford, has a bit of space. Oh, and Trent goes for a slide tackle, misses the ball. I think he luckily pulled out a bit. I mean, it did look like not an ugly challenge, but a sloppy one, as his trailing leg sort of clipped. The attacker didn't get the ball as he intended, but I think the attacker was looking for it, as well as I said, Trent was able to kind of slow his trailing foot and sort of pull out of the challenge. But Brentford players were appealing for it. That would have been an unlucky and I guess you can't say unfair call, but it definitely would have been against the run of play. Here's Jota getting clipped in the middle of the field, quite deep. I mean, probably 15 yards within our own half. Jota doing some Bobby Firmino type droppage. There we go. Turn the background off on the colorway. Here, as Liverpool are taking this free kick, maybe I can just do this quickly. Can I duplicate this? Copy. Duplicate. Bobby Firmino warming up. That's a nice sight to see. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know if anything cut out there. Alright, this is what I was doing. Anyway, I'll do that at the halftime break. Let me focus on my hosting duties. Allison plays it forward to Mane, who shields the ball, kind of manhandles his approaching defender, sends him to the floor, fairly so though, and but he doesn't get much further, and yeah, that was Curtis who put in a late challenge on the Brentford center half, who has shown pretty well so far. Christopher Ayer. Having some autofocus. Jeez, today my luck is a little spotty with technology, but God, keep messing up. Brentford trying to play their way out of the back. They're down the right-hand side. And they have to reload again and send it all the way back to their goalkeeper, who boots it upfield. Virgil wins the header. Matip with a cushioned, settled pass to Curtis as he tries to take some men on. That's kind of what I was talking about from last season. Nice to see Curtis having the confidence to get the ball, bring it under control, and just dart forward. I don't think we've needed it as much this season. I think I was mentioning that last season where we were, a bit too pensive with our play, and Thiago with his foot on the ball a little bit too much, and we needed to just force the issue and just dart at players, as they say in basketball, triple threat. Somebody that can dribble, pass, and shoot. And when you dribble right at defenders, you force a decision. They have to come towards you, and then once you garner that attention, then maybe you can slip somebody through. So anyway, he was doing that from quite a deep position, as well as on the left-hand side, but maybe he garnering a little bit too much attention, because he did end up having about 3 players converge around him, and I think he kind of ran out of room. But good to see from the young Scouser, Cujo. Here's a corner by Trent, and it finds Virgil, who goes up for it, and I think he almost got a little bit too much hang time as the crowd of players converging on the ball. Virgil kind of landed on top of them, and then the ball ended up hitting him in the back. Started going over to the left-hand side, where you kind of thought and hoped that it would find a Liverpool player who would just smash it in. A little bit of redirection sometimes helps you in a corner kick situation. There's Klopp looking a little bit impatient. His face looking impatient, while his body language looking completely in control. A bit like this, but wearing a bit of tiredness on his face. Here's Brentford threw in on goal, and they get a shot off, but I could even tell that was offside with the naked eye, but Allison is there to make the save nonetheless. been probably a little bit too much fun with my graphics here, but here's Robbo on the ball, plays it up to Curtis, who has a very sloppy touch out to the, goes out for a Brentford throw-in. So yeah, it's interesting. Liverpool fans, let me know if you have noticed a distinct difference in our tactics this this season. I can't put my I can put my finger on it, but I can't entirely say that, oh, this is exactly what's happening and why, just because it's still a small sample size, only being the 6th game of the season. Fabinho getting called for the free kick, and he's kind of getting known as a bit of a protester in terms of fouls called upon him. He always gives the innocent face look, and honestly, a lot of times he's right. Anyway, as I was saying, tactically speaking, I've noticed that the Liverpool midfield kind of does spread out width-wise on the field, and it's pretty fluid. It does move back and forth, but oh my! And Brentford, they get the opening goal of the match as a very sloppy defensive free kick for Liverpool goes undealt with, and the ball just skirted right across the goal, and it was begging for a tap-in as Liverpool go a goal down. And we'll see. There's a VAR check. There were 2 players in an offside position, but I think they're going to be passive offside. And yeah, I don't think that goal is getting brought back. So you've got the home team taking the lead. 1-0, 26th minute, I believe. Here we go. To the Brentford Bees. And that goal does officially stand for Pinnock. And Liverpool have a free kick, trying to pour men forward to get an immediate response back. And the ball gets cleared out for a corner. And it's Trent who's going to whip it in. Trent wearing the yellow Liverpool kit and neon boots. Serves it in, and Brentford are the first to clear it. It pops out to Hendo, who very sharply chests it down and half volleys it across field to Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he does not return to an onside position quickly enough, and the referee does flag for that. Raya boots the ball upfield, and Liverpool come away with it. They boot it upfield, and it's a bit of long-form ping-pong here as Fabinho brings the ball down, drops it back to one of his defenders, who plays it quickly out to Salah, who's he finds Hendo on the overlap. First time cross, and it's Jota for the goal! Liverpool equalize. What a beauty right there for Liverpool. Golazo. Jota. Gotta love that. Klopp has to love that one. There we go. Jota, for such a short-statured player, is so good with his head. Wow, and Liverpool already on the ball again. We haven't even had the chance to turn around, and Liverpool really trying to take advantage of our momentum that we've just created. And I've got to get back situated here. One. Brentford here threw it on goal, and Alisson comes out just outside of his 6-yard area to punch clear. Ooh, nice little ball in from number 15 on Brentford to Tony, who, if he had just a foot more of a head start, I think he might have beaten Alisson to the lofted through ball, but Alisson is able to punch clear, and Brentford Alisson is really gesturing with his defense. He is not so happy at the moment. Now they saw him number 1 in the world. How can you dispute it? Bravo plays a chipped ball beautifully through to Mane, who brings it down on the chest, able to swing it out to Trent, who's going to take a crack, but it is blocked, and it's fallen right here at the top of the box. Sadio gets a touch on it, and it falls to the onrushing Hendo, who slips Robertson through, and it is out for a corner on the left-hand side. That corner was brought to you by Sergi Canos, again, the former Liverpool player. There's Trent setting himself up to swing this ball in. This ball gets lofted to the back post as Matip goes up for it. It falls to Fabinho, who plays a delicious ball right. Fabinho is the king of that just very flat, low trajectory through ball into the box. And it's pretty disappointing to not see a Liverpool player on the end of it with so many players committed forward into the box. That ball dropped into the 6-yard area and goes out for a goal kick. But I don't think you can fault Fabinho really for anything wrong with that attempt. Oh, what a beauty. They're just doing a replay of the Brentford goal, and little crucial detail that I missed was Ivan Toney's. The ball was coming from his right-hand side. The goal was to his left as he kind of turns and goes to help the ball on with a nice little Cruyff flick to just change ever so slightly the trajectory of the ball more towards the back post, literally the back post, as Pinnock was able to beat Fabinho, who was right with him, not too far off, but not close enough to prevent the opening goal of the game. You just saw me turn around and reveal the player on the back of this jersey, who of course is Xherdan Shaqiri. Unfortunately, RIP to his Liverpool career. He is with Olympique Lyon. He scored a belter of a debut goal last weekend. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. And good for him. I'm glad, it's sort of that Origi situation that, a lot of Liverpool fans are kind of indifferent towards the player at this point, and with FSG really keeping the purse strings, as most Liverpool fans see it, close. In fact, I think a lot of Liverpool fans were looking to any player that isn't a nailed-on, wonderful player. They want to see sold so that we can raise funds to buy other players. But anyway, Shaqiri and Origi, it's kind of a situation where, if the player wants to go and play more regularly, then, best wishes. Obviously, both mentioned players have had quite good contributions during their Liverpool career, and anyway, all the best to Shaqiri. But I had never picked up a Shaqiri jersey, which was long overdue. Because you gotta love the little man who had an unbelievable Euro, picking up, 3, 4, even 5 goals, I want to say. And he just scored some beautiful goals. Some belters, some curlers. Definitely knows how to find the top corner. There's another somewhat poor piece of defending by Liverpool, in particular Robbo, who it's been a couple times so far this game. It's not his anticipation that's lacking. In fact, it's his anticipation that is maybe leading him into some questionable situations in terms of trying to intercept balls or put a tackle in and not getting it, and then leaving his man either through and on goal or in possession in quite a dangerous position. Here's Brentford playing a cross in, and there's an offside flag. Liverpool get the ball and play very quickly. It's Trent who bolts it, just boots it forward to Mane, who brings it down on his chest, and he tries to find Salah, who gets snuffed out, falls to Hendo, and Curtis is going to take a strike and it hits the post! It's Robbo who gets the rebound, and it is saved and out for a corner. But what a chance for Liverpool there. That you knew that Curtis was going to take that chance with a beautiful strike on goal. I mean, again, Curtis is a player that doesn't need 2 invitations to take a strike, and so he goes for it. But it was from an angle which was, the goal was over there, and he's kind of going towards the corner flag and has to hit across his body. Oh, he does get a bit of a deflection help from the defender. But anyway, as I was saying, it was quite an angle for Curtis to really get enough power. What am I trying to say? To get enough of an angle to really test the keeper, but of course it did hit the post. And I'm not sure if Robbo was onside for the rebound, but a beautiful save by Raya as he got congratulated by his Brentford defenders. And Liverpool had the chance to take the lead for the first time in the game. Liverpool fans, how are we feeling about this first half performance? I would say I'm completely satisfied with it. I mean, again, it's not ideal to concede a goal, particularly a sloppy one. But Liverpool's performance has been quite good. I think that was just an aberration, and Liverpool, if anything, it's spurred Liverpool on even more to take the lead in this game. Definitely a good response. First, here's a Brentford player down, and Raya, with the ball in his hands, throws it out for just an injury stoppage, and it's Pinnock, the Brentford defender, the goal scorer, who's on the ground. Looks like Brentford's going to make a change here. I'm going to hydrate myself. And the center back is going to have to make way. Raya back with the ball in his hands as he was a minute ago prior to throwing it out of bounds. And he punts it upfield. And Brentford in possession. Liverpool are harrying the Brentford players, putting lots of pressure on them, eager to win the ball back, and we are back in possession now with Trent getting the ball from Henderson, plays it up to Cujo, who finds Robertson as Robertson darts forward in an inverted wing-back move, and he's still going. This is 50 yards that he's carried the ball. He's passed 2 or 3 Brentford defenders, and he earns himself a free kick on the edge of the box. This is definitely Trent territory. Yellow card awarded to the Brentford midfielder, I think, that was in hot pursuit of him. Wow, he splits. There's one point where he takes on 3 Brentford defenders in 5 yards. Triangle of Brentford defenders, and he just splits 2 of them, and it's Frank Onyeka who picks up the yellow card, and it will be a free kick to Liverpool, 22 yards from goal, I'm going to say. And it is, as you expect, with Trent with the ball in his hands. It is Hendo and Mohamed Salah as his consiglieres, giving him advice on what to do with it. And I think I know what is about to happen. I think Trent's just going to go for it. There's been a couple questioning of Trent being the automatic free kick taker. I think that Trent has taken a lot of free kicks, and he doesn't really like to share. So somebody just offering up the possibility of maybe sharing the wealth a bit. And here is Trent, takes a 2-step run up and tries to curl it, and it is over the bar by a yard or two. Doesn't really trouble the keeper. So yeah, any Liverpool fans, let me know if you agree with that. If Trent should be sharing the duties and maybe letting Salah have a go. Oh, geez. Oh, and that chance earlier, which they're just showing the replay, the Cujo chance off the post, it was Jota with the rebound effort, not Robertson, as I said. It's funny. There we go. I mistook Jota for Robertson. It's very difficult to tell. I've always said difficult to tell Mane and Naby Keita apart from the broadcaster's booth. They're about the same size and typically are in somewhat of the same positions on the pitch. And I guess I got my left-sided Liverpool players mixed up there. There are 3 minutes of stoppage at the end of this first half, as we will likely go into the break level. Sadio. Definitely would be a great day for Liverpool to get a win. When is it not a great day for Liverpool to get a win? Of course, but particularly today with City beating Chelsea, who Chelsea were level starting the day with Liverpool in first place. Of course, Liverpool and Chelsea having identical results somehow to start the season 5 games in. Of course, we know that will not be the case for sure today because, again, with exact results, Chelsea were blanked this morning at home to City, and obviously Liverpool having scored already, we know that the scores will not be the same. And there it is for halftime. The referee blows his whistle, and we are going to take a halftime break, and we will catch you a little bit later on. So hit the bathroom, grab a beer, do whatever you like, and we will catch you back here in about 5 minutes. All right, we are back. Be right back as I promised, and here I am. We've got Brentford to restart us with the second half. And, whoops. There we go. Allison already with the ball in his hands 13 seconds into the match. And after consulting with channel favorite Liverpool Lee, he is not so impressed with the first half performance. He thought it was lackadaisical, awful first 25 minutes. I didn't necessarily see it that way, but I think he probably is in the Liverpool fan majority there. Simply not good enough. Oh wow, I just did that. I apologize. But yeah, I think he's probably in the Liverpool fan majority. Going to want to see a bit more, just sharpness from Liverpool, offensively and defensively. Again, my personal opinion, I thought that we were pretty okay. Some mistakes made by both teams, but it happens. I think that it's also been quite it has been quite back and forth as Brentford come down the right hand side, and Virgil is able to expertly get a toe in and put it out for a Brentford corner kick as Brentford were advancing rather rapidly. Virgil. Brentford with a corner, and Ivan Toney was not far off. He has had quite a great match. I think he's going to have a lot of admirers on Twitter after this game. Oh, and Sadio tries to play Salah through, and he was marked, but his mark goes sliding for the ball, and it's actually ended up slipping through to Salah, but at that point he had put the brakes on. I think, honestly, he would have been fast enough to collect the ball and continue galloping forward, and he still would have had a bit of a breakaway situation, but instead he tried to lay it off and then run, and by that point Brentford had retreated enough to kind of close those gaps. Endo back to Trent, playing a bit of keep away there as we reload back to Matip, who has a very short and close haircut. Looks pretty good. A pretty ambitious ball forward to Mane, who leaps forward but does not have the ability to get close to the ball there. I gotta fix my game clock. Sorry about this. I need to fix the way I do this because every time I click out of it, and another chance for Jota as a ball comes in from the left-hand side, and it looked like it was a ball from Robertson. Hendo goes to head it, he whiffs, and Jota gets the ball on the top of the six. He wasn't expecting it. They always say as an attacker you need to expect the ball to go in your favor, so you always run onto it. You always expect that the best case scenario will happen, so you're ready. But I still think even in this situation, it would have been a little expected of the Portuguese man to be able to have a flash snatching chance at that. So it did hit his knee, and then he went to follow it down for a second opportunity, but by that point the ball had sort of bounced a little bit out of his reach, and the goalkeeper and defenders alike closed in on him. But Liverpool have another corner here. I think this is our 6th corner of the game. It's Trent swinging it from the left side, so that was an in-swinger there, and that looked like, as we've seen before, a Mo Salah back post bungled in chance, but instead Brentford, such was the trajectory of the ball, but Brentford was able to clear, and I think this is another corner for Liverpool. And here's Robbo going to be serving in an in-swinger from the right-hand side. So interesting having the opposite side outside backs actually come across to take these corners. And it wasn't an awful-looking corner, but it doesn't find a head of anybody. It just goes clear through and curled out the other side for a goal kick. Offside called on Brentford. And again, I would say in response to those critical of this Liverpool first half, number one, I'm not getting too bent out of shape because there is a second half and I have seen enough of attacking intent, and I do have the faith in Liverpool to still win this game. There's still plenty of time to have some match-winning performances, as some beautiful play coming down the right-hand side between Trent, Hendo, and Salah, and there's a Cruyff through ball that actually ends up panning out for Salah, but he does end up hitting a cul-de-sac, losing possession, but Liverpool are back in possession, having to reload from Curtis back to the back line, and now we're on the left-hand side of the field. But as I was saying, I do think that Liverpool have definitely shown enough evidence that a winner is forthcoming in this match today, as well as just a small little piece of evidence, not really the word I'm looking for, but we'll go with it, that every time we get a free kick, even deep in our own territory, we take it quickly because we are so eager, and not in a rushed, panicky type of way, just more in a very intentional, let's get things going, let's keep this pace of play, this tempo still very high, which I'd like to see. Oh, beautiful floated ball for Salah, and that is just too good from Fabinho to Salah. And it's given offside. Unbelievable. That was quite a beautiful ball by Fabinho. As I said in the first half, and I think Salah is onside here on that far right-hand side of Brentford defense. I think he's going to be onside, and he bundles that in for the leading goal, and I think that should be given. Draw the line. He is way onside. I think this is going to be a goal for Salah. And let me throw up the. Oh no, wait, do I not? I'm going to put up the Liverpool goal here. Oh, here's what I was looking for. Mo Salah. And it is a goal for Liverpool. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. Just let me describe that goal. Fabinho with that low trajectory through ball, just up and over the Brentford defender, and Salah knows what run to make. He goes in and he brings it down and side foots it past the keeper. Raya did get a touch to it, but it's not enough. And Liverpool take the lead, and then it's Mo Salah. Who else? The most trustworthy man with a ball at his feet. And it is Liverpool 2-1 and hopefully we can make that last quite a while. Although, as I say that, it is Brentford in the box. Let's see. Beautiful goal by Salah. And really, really nice to see. I will give a hand to VAR there. Of course, I'm not a fan of VAR. Who is really? But I think that there are a lot of people that are just of the opinion, kind of complacent about VAR, that they don't think that it's going anywhere. I think that's a bit of a defeatist attitude. I do think that, you know, this is a game that we love and we're the fans, and, you know, oh boy, there's Alisson with quite a bad error, but Liverpool able to sweep up. Alisson had the ball just outside his 18, and he goes to play a long field ball, but in golf, I believe that you top the ball, and so it was just a grass cutter, and it goes right to a Brentford player, luckily about 40 yards from goal, but sometimes that's a situation where the goalkeeper gets chipped, or they're able to work the ball forward into a more advantageous shooting position before the goalkeeper is able to retreat. But luckily, Liverpool defenders were able to converge in enough time where no shot was registered on goal. And anyway, as I was saying, you know, giving a pat on the back to VAR. But honestly, if that goal wasn't given, I think it would have been a poor call by the linesman, but it was tight enough where, you know what, we would have lived with it. And I mean, this is an accident that it happened in the 53rd minute, but, you know, context matters, and we still would have had a good 30 plus minutes to score our would-be game winner, our second would-be game winner type of deal. So anyway, we watch football to enjoy it, to experience a bit of drama and excitement, and not really to talk about refereeing decisions. So thankfully, the correct call was made, and Salah was onside by a good yard. I mean, it all matters with now I'm delving back into the VAR world, but drawing the lines are arbitrary. Thankfully, it seems this season they're doing a bit of a better job of allowing a bit of leeway. And but the way that line was drawn, it did look like he was a good half a yard onside at least. So, and here's Brentford that is making some nice purposeful runs forward, and it's Toney. Who else but Ivan Toney picking up the ball on the left-hand side, using a teammate to pull off a nice 1-2. They lay it off for him, and he's on the left-hand side, and he takes it first time, and it would have been an absolute beauty had that gone in, but he was a good 12 yards wide of the goal as he tried to get that, open up the right peg and bend it into that far post. But I think Alisson had it covered, and Alisson with a beautiful ball to the left-hand side, where he finds Jota. Jota plays centrally to Mane, who tries to pass it off to an advancing Henderson, but he just misses the trap, and Brentford intercept, but it goes all the way back to Alisson, and Liverpool back in possession again. Nice bit of quarterbacking play from Alisson on that goal kick, as he waved everybody forward, and then was able to pick out a beautiful 50-yard ball to the left-sided Jota. Typically, when you wave your players forward, it's because you don't have any options. So to wave everybody forward and then still pick out a not a wide open Jota, but right to his feet. Curtis Jones is fouled in the middle of the field as Jota tried to lay it off to him and go. But Curtis got put on the floor by his, I don't know if that was a professional foul, but Liverpool in possession. And now Jota's getting manhandled on the right-hand side, Salah style, but he is able to get rid of it. Now Salah's getting manhandled. What is the, referee, just because it doesn't look like a foul doesn't mean it's not a foul. You have two arms holding onto a player. That should be a foul immediately. Although Salah, who, of course, as we know, gets a lot of stick for being a diver, never seems to complain too much as the foul is happening. It's just when the ball passes by and he doesn't get a call. Of course, he's going to put his hands up. But anyway, enough complaining on my part. We're past the hour mark here. Oops. Shoot. Give me my scoreboard back. There we go. And so here's Liverpool. Oh, and Trent cutting in from the right-hand side and puts it on his left foot, goes for a left-footed strike. It is blocked and it falls out to Robertson, who goes for a strike. And it is very wayward, but his eyes are as wide open as they could possibly be. He is astonished that a corner is not given, I have to believe. I don't know, from the TV angle. And here's just another, you have to go see this. You have to seek this out. A beautiful, just cross stabbed ball over the top just by Fabinho. Again, sorry, this is the goal being shown on the replay. Fabinho, there's no other player in the world that can play the ball quite like that. I'm not saying nobody else can execute and make passes from point A to point B, but nobody has that driven, low trajectory ball. It's such a great skill that I don't feel Fabinho is given credit for. And if you are watching football as a fan and you don't think that Fabinho is the best defensive midfielder in the world, I think you need to get your eyes checked. I think he's been that for the last 3 years, and honestly, I don't even think it's close. He is an unbelievable tackler. His positioning is excellent. His intelligence is great. He's able to, oh boy, and Brentford have the ball in the box and it hits the crossbar as Allison. And it is 2-2 to Brentford. A scramble in the box. Again, another, similar to the first goal, the defending is just not good enough in the box for Liverpool, and here's an equalizer. There's a lot happening there. So I'm guessing it'll probably get checked for some sort of, I don't know, offside, or not that I'm asking for it, but here it's from the right-hand side, gets played in to a player from the right-hand side of the box, plays it to the back post. There's 3 Brentford players there going for the same ball. It bounces off of somebody. A guy hits a half volley on the swivel from about 4 yards. It hits the crossbar. Liverpool get lucky there, and it comes back. And then on the rebound, number 27 gets a header, a second header, and it crosses the line as Trent tries to clear it, and that goal will stand. It is 2-2. And Liverpool have 25 minutes to get a winner. Hopefully they can make it happen, and it's Salah already into Brentford's territory. Lee saying that he wants to see Konate with Virgil next game. I can't say I agree with that, not because I dislike any of those, not because I dislike the partnership, but just I feel like it is reactionary. I think that there have been defensive mistakes, but I do think that's definitely a knee-jerk decision, and I think that's a little over-punitive. Ball in the back post for Mane, who brings it down really wonderfully. Oh! He brings it down quite wonderfully as he was backed up against the byline, and he drops it to Jota, who I believe the defender. Oh no, Jota not able to really handle it. It was a little bit too outside of his left hip. It squirts out to the top of the box. Who Curtis is licking his lips just like Keita was last match, as Curtis tries to get his Steven Gerrard on and blast it into the back of the net, but way too wayward as he blasts it high and wide. What a wonderful strike, and there it is. I think he heard me when I said that he can't get his Steven Gerrard on there. That is a beauty from the Scouser. Oh, and he loves it. He loves it, and he celebrates that one quite hard. That is a beautiful goal by the Liverpool midfielder. He picks up the ball from Robbo. He's on the corner of the 18. Puts it on his right foot, cuts inside, and rips one. And he had his balance right there. You knew as soon as he hit that was going to be on goal and give the goalkeeper a bit of trouble. I think the goalkeeper actually would have saved that one, but he gets a helpful deflection in on goal. And Liverpool back in the lead again. It is 3-2. Quite a barn burner here. And it is Curtis, I think, going to make way here. That was probably a switch that was planned prior to that goal. But what a contribution for Liverpool as he makes way for whom I'm not sure. Kloppo's gotta love that one. I think Klopp has something to say here about that goal. Boom. And it is Bobby Firmino who enters the pitch. Bobby coming on. What a game we've got here, folks. And it will be Liverpool to regain or maintain first place. Oh, Origi looking super fly on the bench with a beautiful gray training top with horizontal yellow and red stripes. I might need to pick that one up for myself. Liverpool will be, only with a win can we stay in first place. We would be on 14 points with a, wait, how can that be? No, this isn't updated. Wait, 2 draws? That can't be. Yeah, this is wrong. This is usually a live. Anyway, whatever. We'll be in first place, I believe, on 16 points. Is that right? 5 times 3 plus 1? Yeah, 16 points. That'll be 3 clear of City and Chelsea. So that would be very nice to have Hendo show some leadership and see this game out. Hopefully, we do have 21 minutes plus to go. this is an interesting formation to see how this plays out, and it's quite an attacking switch. I mean, again, maybe Klopp was already put the. I think you can still make a change if a goal goes in and you want to switch out the substitution. Here's Robbo retreating and clips the heels of the Brentford attacker coming down the right-hand side. He had a yard of pace on him, number 26, and Robbo is protesting. He, as I said, he picks up a yellow, and it's going to be a Brentford free kick from basically the corner of the right 18. Liverpool takes up their position around the penalty spot, and hopefully we get this clear. But as I was saying, tactically speaking now, I feel like we've got to be in a 4-2-3-1 situation out of a 4-3-3 with Curtis departing and Firmino coming on. Great to see that Firmino is back and ready for action. Here's a floated ball, and that's got to be pretty simple for Alisson. He opts for the punch, who comes out to Trent, and Mane is down the right-hand side, and he drops it to Trent. 1-2. Mane back on the ball, and he's going to come down the right-hand side, and he plays it through to Henderson, who does appear to be offside. But as I was saying, you've got Fabinho and Hendo in the midfield too, and then you've got four attackers. So you've got Bobby, who you have to think is going to play in the hole. I would imagine that Jota probably remains centrally up top. Although, really, I mean, it's been pretty fluid all day. I've seen Jota on the left-hand side, Mane centrally at some point. Right now, Mane's on the right-hand side, Salah's on the left. Wasn't really sure where Jota was in that passage of play. And then you'll probably expect Bobby to be in the 10 role. And I don't hate it. I am definitely on the Bobby respect train. I do know, of course, that he has been out of form for almost 2 years now, but he is a Liverpool legend, and if Klopp has faith in him, then so do I. And I think he gives a lot to the team in terms of running and showing and just structure of our team and maybe being a decoy, coming deep to get the ball, and his finishing, his confidence, I think, has taken a hit. But I don't think that just because he's not in the goals that he deserves to definitely be resigned to the bench. I mean, Jota has come up this season already, including today with a. And here's Bobby, the beautiful little touch flick as the ball is played a little bit behind him, and a little bit of Brazilian flair as he kind of has like a little heel touch to bring the ball into more of his path. But his ball played centrally was kind of snuffed out. Liverpool looking like in a little bit of trouble there for a second as Hendo was able to retreat. A Brentford counterattack had, I think that was it Tony, with a beautiful glancing little bit of a through ball for, I think that was the center back, Christopher Ayer. And he didn't necessarily have the wheels. Hendo is actually pretty quick, and he was able to snuff that out. But it did look like a breakaway situation, although it was maybe more of a lineman picking up a fumble and not quite having the wheels to get to the end zone situation. Liverpool are looking a little bit quicker than Brentford, maybe in better fitness. Maybe that's a little bit too hasty to say. But a couple little moments where Jota able to jump in as Brentford in on their heels a little bit, and you like to see it. Liverpool are always going to be one of the fittest teams in the league. Klopp will ensure that, so that way we can play our style of play. Hendo swings it across to Matip, one touch out to Trent. I want to shout out or call out is probably the better term. Lee, if you're watching, you still stand by I'm going to try and walk you into some hypocrisy. Not hypocrisy, but just back you up against the wall and see if you still feel that it should be Virgil and Konate in the next game now that we're winning. Because I do think that sometimes we can get a little down on the team when the scoreboard isn't reading the way we want it to. But yeah, I mean, Virgil and Matip have been imperial this season. I think as good as I've ever seen them. Sure, individually, Virgil can be even better. Just completely unplayable. And here's Salah, who's in a bit of space down the right-hand side. And he tries to play a quick half-volley cross towards, I think, Mane, who was on rushing, but it actually ends up right into the chest and arms of Raya, the Brentford goalkeeper. So Brentford are on the ball on the right-hand side of the field, their right-hand side of the field. And Virgil is up, very high up the pitch. He was actually into Brentford's half, as Brentford themselves were on the right-hand side of the pitch, but quite near the center line. And Virgil trying to anticipate. And here's Mane to Salah, and Salah chips it over. I don't know if he thought he was offside there, but he's just got to slot that. I mean, that would have been the game right there to make it 4-2. Let's see. Of course, I watched with the sound off, so I can't tell you if that was called offside. But no, he was way onside again. He was even more onside this time. And he tries to chip the keeper. I see what he was doing, but I think he kind of just misread the situation a little bit. As soon as he put his head down and he plays a ball into Mane, who had a player on him. Salah plays a first time, really smart ball to Mane, who tries in stride to help the ball along and take a shot on goal. But it goes wide. And I think he was asking for a corner. But yeah, still the frantic play continues. Very entertaining game. Maybe not the highest quality, but certainly entertaining. I think there have been some defensive mistakes, and then, I mean, frankly, watching this Liverpool team, it almost doesn't even matter if there are defensive mistakes for the other team, because whether there are or there aren't, Liverpool have been known to score quite a few goals, especially this season, still in red-hot form. And here's Alisson coming to get the deflected through ball out to his left-hand side of his box. Looks like a bunch of Liverpool players, as well as a few Brentford as well, are wearing these white Nikes with a yellow swoosh and red detail, very similar to, or very in keeping with the Liverpool third kit that we are rocking today. So looking sharp. I think a lot of fans will be pleased with the Reds' appearance today. Jota finds Bobby on the top of the box. He looked to be in a very advantageous position, but his touch lets him down, and then he has to go to the byline to find a bit more space and get away from his defender. And he is looking quite sharp and a little sloppy at the same time. They're just it kind of goes from touch to touch. Whether it's an excellent one or it's not the best, because as soon as he had that little bit of a hard touch, a brick of a touch, he regains possession and he has the ball towards the byline and he's got a defender, and he goes step over, and then Cruyff tries to meg the defender, and it actually worked, but then the Brentford defender, who was just beaten, I'm sorry, all day with the names of, I don't know the names of the Brentford players, so when Salah almost got slipped through. But as I was saying, I use either just generic positions to refer to the Brentford players, or even the number, because I don't know many of them at this stage, but I will get better with that throughout the rest of the season. And at this point, I think you have to Again, it's very early and teams are going to go in and out of form, but I would actually, I would probably be willing to put money down on Brentford staying up this season. I think they've shown enough that they are quite good opposition. I think that they're set up quite well by, hopefully I have this right, Thomas Franke, the Danish manager. Oh, and Mane takes his opponent on the left-hand side and he gets chipped into Jota and Virgil. It's a little too tall for Jota and a little too shallow for Virgil, as the defender in between the two of them is able to just head it clear. 80th minute, we've got 10 plus minutes to go, and Liverpool fans are just begging for Liverpool to get the cushioned fourth goal of this game for Liverpool, being the sixth goal of this game. Brentford serve it in towards the back post. Oh, and it's a scurry. Oh my goodness, and it's an equalizer for Brentford as number 11, the substitute, comes on and does an Erling Haaland Zen pose. That, again, really ugly defending, and I think I just jinxed that into happening because I just asked Lee if he's been more satisfied with the performance. Of course, I was referring to attacking-wise, but another sloppy bit of play, and this has got to be on Trent, who goes up for the ball. He jumps and gives no thought to how he's going to land. He just tries to go up and get the ball, and then he lands with his feet kind of being swept out from under him. He lands on his back, out of play, and then the ball falls to a second Brentford attacker who, frankly, just has so much time in the box that he is able to skirt right around the fallen Liverpool right back, and he just scoops it up over Alisson. And it is 3-3. Virgil having a word with the referee, and I think he was maybe questioning whether Trent got pushed in the back to lose his balance. Fabinho, who tries another flat ball into Salah, and Jota got bundled over in the box. Liverpool players are appealing. I think that would have to be a penalty because it was in the box. I don't really know how much you can appeal for that because Salah really failed to control the ball. I mean, maybe you could argue that Jota would have... Oh, Jota does get bundled over there. He gets shoved and he's about 5 yards off the ball. I don't know. I think a lot of people would maybe be miffed that was given, but he did get bundled over, and therefore taking him out of the play, I think, again, it might have just been out of reach to Jota to catch up to that ball, but if he really just put the extra burners on, maybe he would have gotten a touch, and so I think that was the decision to make. I don't know. It kind of seems like the ref swallowed the whistle there a bit. I don't know that he was ready to give a tough decision, but Liverpool have 5 minutes left to get this winner. This is a 3-3 match Again, Liverpool and Brentford's first, and that's got to be a handball by Tony, who is backtracking, and he put his head up, and when the ball went from foot to hand and back down, and nothing given there. And then Brentford are given a free kick coming out, as they'll try to chew up some clock. I reckon they'll be quite pleased with a draw in this match, as they've found themselves behind twice, ahead once. And here's Matip on the ball. He plays a little bit of too much of a through ball to Jota, and he tries to skirt around the Brentford player, and Brentford's through on goal here, left side, and Virgil does whatever he's got to do. He does a little bit of a skip, hop, and a Cruyff clearance. Looked a little shady for a second. That was pretty good. That was behind, that was almost a little Jersey Dudek action. He kind of went past the ball and then kind of cleared it out for a corner. And Virgil is looking absolutely pissed. Brentford are lollygagging over to the left-hand side for this corner kick. Hopefully Liverpool can break here. This would be perfect. Whipped ball towards the back post. Trent just boots it clear, trying to get us up the field. And here's a ball through for Tony! That's would have been the winning goal, but it is called off for offside. That is quite a finish by Ivan Toney. Liverpool's defense has been a bit all over the place. Granted, you have to hand it to them. Don't get shaded by a would-be goal. He was a good yard offside, and so therefore you got to hand it to Liverpool's defense for holding that line, or maybe the opposite of that, getting out on transition. And Jota's getting fouled here. Must be. He gets back on his feet, chips it back to Henderson, who changes the point of attack to Robertson, to Fabinho, who reloads with Virgil. Plays it out to Hendo. Matip. Hendo. I think Brentford are going to pack it in here, so it might be a bit difficult to hit Brentford out a bit. And here's Tony, who just grabs the shirt of Fabinho somewhat unnecessarily. And this is quite central, about 30 yards from goal here. I don't really know why he fouled Fabinho. I mean, Brentford were back and they had all men pretty much marked. So here's a chance for Liverpool to set up. It's kind of a little bit too central. I don't really even know where the goalkeeper is going to stand. Actually, this is 35 yards from goal. This would be quite silly if a player were to have an effort on goal here. It looks like it's going to be Robbo that's probably going to dink. Again, it's a little bit of a difficult angle because you almost don't have too much of an approach. You just need to dink it one way or another. And they play it to Hendo quickly on the ground. Plays it to the back post. It's Virgil that goes up for it. And Fabinho blocks what would be a Brentford clearance. Trent tracking back to head it from 30 yards to Allison, who catches with his hands. I don't really know how else you catch it, but Trent blasts it forward. Really just hits it as hard as he can, and Brentford on the ball now, right-hand side of the field. Ivan Toney is just everywhere. He's left, he's right, he's centrally, he's wherever he needs to be. It almost seems like they've cloned him today. He's been all over the place in a good way. Virgil plays it forward to Jota, who slips, and now Brentford have the ball 30 yards from goal. They try an overly ambitious through ball onto which no Brentford player was on the receiving end. And we're coming 15 seconds left of the full 90. Not sure what we've got in the way of stoppage. Maybe just 2 or 3 minutes. I can't remember really too much time being stopped through the half. We'll see. Oh, and Mane gets the ball. It was a little too short for him, but he gets it anyway. Plays it into Robbo, who just can't get that touch. But Mane back on the ball. Credit to him. Working hard out there, and there are 5 minutes on the clock. Maybe with all the goal celebrations and whatnot. Fabinho plays essentially to Salah, who's opening up that left side of his body. I thought maybe he would drag it to his right, but he doesn't. Tries a chipped ball in. He's back on the ball again, and he plays it to Mane, who gets bundled over. That definitely looked rather soft, him going to ground. I don't know if he just got a nudge in the back that he wasn't expecting. Some Liverpool players were appealing, but it didn't really have too much weight to it. And Jota is walking over towards the sideline. I suppose it looks somewhat like a substitution. And who will come on for him? Maybe not. Maybe he was just reorienting himself on the pitch. Raya trying to chew up some valuable clock, and he blasts it forward. 3.5 minutes left in the match. Fabinho just boots it for a little. I was saying earlier in the match, Liverpool had quite a bit of eagerness and intention, which I like to see, but at this point, our experience is certainly not showing, as we just try to blast the ball at any chance we get. Now it's Jota on the right-hand side, and he wins a throw-in for Liverpool. We've got 3 minutes left. How sweet would a Liverpool winner be in a 7-goal thriller? Trent on the ball now. He tries to play it forward to Salah, who he's on the right. He's in the box now. He drops it, not accurate enough for Jota, and Robertson, who has been very sloppy today. He gets the ball and loses possession. Now it's Ivan Toney in a foot race with Virgil, who wins the ball, and Toney is appealing for a free kick. Get out of here. Virgil doesn't make mistakes in those situations. He bubbles over the ball over to the right-hand side with Sadio in the left side of the box. Plays it into the middle, who gets a touch, but Raya is able to keep his body where it needs to be, and you can't fault Firmino too much. It's a flashing chance. Oh, he didn't even get a touch on him as a defender. That kind of deflected it goalwards, and great reaction save by Raya. That really, if you couldn't tell, I really believe that was going to be our winner right there. There are 2 minutes of stoppage left. This has seemed like a long stoppage time period, which is fine by me. Can Liverpool get the winner? And Raya is trying to pump up the crowd. He had a Brentford player go down with a cramp or some sort of fake cramp, maybe. Trent on the right-hand side plays in the corner, and Bobby got up for the header. It looked good, but it did get deflected. And here's another chance in, and Liverpool are claiming a corner. I'm not sure who it went off of. And it looks like we're going to have another corner, this time from the left-hand side. I reckon it'll be Robbo. No, it is Trent to go over to the left-hand side, in-swinger. He picks his head up, maybe looks for a short corner, isn't there, sets the ball down. In-swinger coming. Oh, and it's a little too short. There's a diving header clearance by Brentford, but Robbo, last man back, is able to collect, plays a long ball towards the back post. Matip straight up, header, ping pong here. Someone bring it down. Fabinho gets it, a little bit of sloppy touch. He's out to the left-hand side. Not exactly the guy you want to be by the sidelines, because not sure he's our best crosser, but plays it back to Hendo, who plays a stab ball looking for Mo Salah, of course. Brentford get to it first. Salah has to backtrack. It's Robbo now back towards the middle of the field. He plays a floated ball that doesn't have enough direction on it, and Raya picks it up, and he's going to try and chew up as much clock as he can. There are 26 seconds, sorry, 15 seconds left, and that should do it. I think as I wind down here, this is definitely a frustrating performance. Oh, and Jota, with 2 seconds on the clock, wins the ball about 50 yards from goal and tries to just scoop it through to Mane, but that'll do it. That's the game, folks. It is 3-3, definitely entertaining. That's why we watch football. Unfortunate drop points for Liverpool, but listen, Brentford fought hard. Time will tell if Liverpool drops 2 vital points, and hopefully a title battle this season. What I expect to be a title battle this season. But nonetheless, Liverpool's still in first place by a point. And up next are the Citizens. Sunday, 11:30. Don't miss that one, folks. I promise I will not have any technical difficulties next time, and I will have some presently unannounced guest hosts with me. So tune in this week to find out who that might be, but next week is going to be a great one, folks. And that's all. I wish you a great Saturday